This is the sequence of events you testified to in this courtroom. That he smashed the phone to smithereens and then assaulted you, lost the tip of his finger, and then assaulted you with a bottle. Yes, that's the sequence of events that you testified to in this courtroom.
To be clear, you're putting it in order when you say words like then. I have never claimed that I can remember the exact sequence of these things. This was a multi-day assault that took place over 3 horrible days.
Ms. Hurd,
the worst thing ever happened to me. I don't remember
Ms.
the
Hurd,
exact sequence.
that's not my question. My question isn't about the 3-day assault, allegedly, that occurred. I'm just talking about the sexual assault that you now allege occurred.
Yes,
okay?
correct.
Let's talk about the sequence. So you testified, actually. Do you have a copy? Yeah, I know. I just realized that. Do we have a copy? We gave it to you yesterday. Court transcript.
Day 16.
Yes. Ms. Hurd, do you have a copy of day 16 in front of you?
Day 16? Yes, of
Court
my deposition?
Yes. Mm-hmm. No, of the court transcript from this trial.
Oh.
Yes.
I didn't realize that. Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Let's look at the transcript. So you testified on page, I'm getting there, 4506.
All right.
There? Okay. And the reason that we need to go through this, Ms. Hurd, is because we understand that these are very serious allegations that you're making, right?
It was horrible. What happened to me, yes.
Okay, so let's go through them. Page 4506, line 2 through 3. I sit here now, apologize. You testified on page 4506. This all started when Mr. Depp took 8 or 10 pills of MDMA, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Then, directing your attention to page 4518. Line 19. You talk about Mr. Depp smashing a wall-mounted phone, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Then on page 4519, at line 3, you testified that while Mr. Depp is smashing the phone, he is
among other things.
And further down on page 4519, same page, lines 12 through 19, you talk about how you watched Mr. Depp smash the phone to smithereens, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Then, continuing on the same page, 4519, line 20, you say something really important. Quote, at some point, he's on top of me. No phone, but screaming the same thing, end quote, right?
I just remember the sound, yes.
But you remembered, and you testified to this jury, that he didn't have the phone in his hand anymore.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle,
Right.
He had the bottle in his hand. When he was punching the wall with the phone, he had the phone in his hand. When he was punching the wall next to my head, he had me by the throat. He did a lot of things that night.
So you're acknowledging, by this sequence, not my words, your words, Ms. Hurd, that you testified to this jury that Mr. Depp smashed the phone to smithereens before he assaulted you. That's the sequencing in which you testified, correct?
I have never testified to a sequence.
Okay. Keep talking about that sequence. Then on page 4521, starting at line 3, you testified to being bent over backwards on the bar. right?
Okay.
All right, sidebar. Whew. Sue Ann Robinson, Eric Purrier. Holy mackerel. Sue Ann coming out swinging. It's like Mike Tyson dressed as Olivia Pope.
Right, exactly, and that's what she's doing. She's drawing the attention away from Amber Heard to herself so that the jury is focusing on the content of her questions. She's testifying and giving the jury things to think about through her questions. And Amber Heard still is not conceding even the basic things that would actually help her for this cross-examination to go better for her.
Eric, your thoughts?
Oh, I would agree there. This cross is already going badly for Miss Heard, and it's only getting worse right now by being so argumentative, by not admitting just simple facts. She is making the jury not trust the rest of her statements. Her credibility is suffering as a result. And even just looking at the gallery here, you know, we don't see the jury, of course, but we can see the people in the gallery. And a lot of them don't seem to be too receptive. And you can't imagine the jurors are seeing it much differently.
Let's go back in. Sidebar's over.
Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to page 4521, starting at line 3. You testified to being bent over backwards on the bar, right?
That is correct.
And then feeling pressure on your pubic bone like Mr. Depp was punching you. Yes?
That's what I thought.
And then further down on page 4521 and on to 4522, you testified that you were concerned Mr. Depp was using a broken bottle on you. Yes?
That was my fear.
Okay.
That's what I remember feeling.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit 1816. Which has already been admitted.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You saw this picture during your direct examination, right?
I did.
And you testified that this is a picture of the bottles that were next to Mr. Depp on a desk when you found him drinking in the morning, right?
That's correct.
And this was the morning after Mr. Depp had allegedly sexually assaulted you, right?
It was the morning after he did assault me. Yes.
And if I understood your testimony correctly, you testified that this is the Maker's Mark bottle that Mr. Depp sexually assaulted you with.
I was never sure it was, but it was definitely that shape. Felt like that shape.
But you testified in this courtroom that you had not seen this bottle until Ben King provided these photographs, correct?
And not in the course of the trial. I hadn't seen the photograph.
You claim you had serious injuries after this alleged incident, right, Ms. Heard?
Depends on what you would call serious. For me, you know, having a sore jaw and some bruises at the time of my relationship wasn't that serious.
Okay, let's testify.
Relative.
Let's focus on the testimony that you gave about the injuries. Mr. Depp, as you testified yesterday, wears rings on every finger.